Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Tent D. So if you're looking for Tent D, you're in the right place. If you're not, well, you can stay and enjoy a little break from the sunshine. My name is Rebecca, and I am the teacher over here at the schoolhouse. And there is Dalton back there. He is our full-time farmhand and a lot of other things. Who here knew there was a school on this farm before you got here? All right. Who here has watched our lives? All right. Who here has no idea what we do in that schoolroom? Oh, good. Okay. I feel like a lot of y'all could probably give the same speech I'm about to give. So welcome. Yes, we are a one-room schoolhouse. I'm going to back up a little bit so that my friends back here can see me. Actually, let me just take this off. That way everyone can see. So for those of you who don't know, we are a one-room schoolhouse that was built back in 2017. It was built to look older, but it's not that old. And it was built out of necessity when Rory's wife passed away. She left behind a 2-year-old daughter who she was going to homeschool. And so he needed another option. And if any of you know Rory Feek, you know that he dreams big. And not only does he dream big, he makes it happen. And so he was able to, with other people coming alongside us, build this schoolhouse for Indiana, and then decided that he wanted to make it for the community. So we are a private one-room schoolhouse that has 12 children from within the community. Our goal is to grow as the children grow, meaning that we all grow in age and grades, and we kind of keep it small and intimate. And I've been with some of these kids for 3 or 4 years, and we're just going to keep going until they graduate high school. So I came along. For those of you who don't know, I am not a teacher by trade. I do not have a degree at all, actually. I went to school for a little while, and then life took me a different direction. And so when the school was being built, there was a need for a teacher, and I just kind of felt called to come meet the woman in charge at the time. Her name was Miss Jan. And I came to meet her just to see if I could be involved in the schoolhouse in some way. I was raised a missionary kid, so I was raised in Mexico City. Yo hablo español. And so I was like, can I teach the kids some Spanish? What can I do? But made it very clear to Miss Jan that I was not a real teacher. I didn't want her to I didn't want her to think I was coming in as a fraud. And so I said it over and over again, I am not a real teacher, but I want to come and do something with the children. I felt very called to do that. And one thing led to another. It was a total God moment. They had already hired a real full-time teacher, but they felt called as well. And so 2 days later, they call me and they say, we want you to quit your full-time job, take a really big pay cut, and come work for the school. And I walked right into my boss's office that Monday morning and gave my 2-week notice. And I have not regretted it one step of the way. I feel like this is the place. It's one of those moments where it doesn't make sense on paper, but I definitely feel like I was born to be a teacher and born for this moment and for this time that I'm living right now. So that is a little bit about my story. Farmer Dalton will tell you a little bit about himself, but he was not a farmer before this. I think he was working at a taco shop, and he is the reason this place looks as beautiful as it does. He is the design mastermind behind all of this. Yeah, your brochures, all of the merch, everything is him. So it's beautiful, but I also want to make sure that he realizes that we still want him a farmer. So he's been with us for 3 or 4 years now. I lose track, and taking care of the animals. He's going to come up in a minute and take a little Q&A to answer any questions that you guys have about the animals and how we integrate them into the school. So for our school, I said we are a private school. So that means that the state has nothing to do with us. We don't have to answer to them. I always get that reaction, yeah. I tell them who's in my school, and they leave us alone. We are under an organization called TANUS, and that organization is who are kind of like our governing body. They're who I apply to once a year for certification, and then they kind of leave us alone too. But TANUS stands for Tennessee Association for Non-Accredited Schools. They are over several schools in Tennessee that have a big crowd. So that is our body. That is our governing body that we're under. So basically what we do is we use homeschooling curriculum. We use the good and the beautiful. We love it. We do our language arts and some math. And then the rest is made up. I mean, we have 100 acres to learn from. And we have the animals, and we kind of just day by day try as best as we can to keep some sort of routine, but also be child-led. So if a child comes in and says, I saw a caterpillar on the street, and they all go crazy, we kind of gear our morning towards the caterpillar. So we try to keep some flexibility in there to make sure that the kids are learning, but they're learning kind of what they want to learn, and they're learning to learn, and they're loving learning. And so that takes a lot of just kind of letting go and letting the children dictate a lot of what we do. So our days begin at 8 in the morning. Now, we are a private school, but we are required to do a certain amount of days through the school and a certain amount of hours during the day. Other than that, we don't have many regulations. We start at 8 in the morning, and we start with our read aloud. We just finished Little Men. If you have not read that book, I highly recommend you read Little Men. It is really, really good. And so we'll do our read aloud, our prayer, our pledge. We'll have conversation. We let a child pick the topic of the morning, and whatever they want to talk about, we all talk about together as a family. And then Dalton shows up, and they go and do chores together. So animals are fed and happy before we continue with our day. And we only have 12 children, but we still try to keep it individual quality time. So we split the kids up. He takes some kids out to the cows, the chickens out there, and then some kids to the barnyard, and the chickens in the chicken tractor, and the pigs out there, and all the things are happening. We break them up into groups. So the kids get to touch every part of the farm every other day. They get to swap out. So he does that. So they are very hands-on. They're at the age right now that they pretty much, with us supervising, are able to do all the chores. They know what to do. They're able to do it. These new Aluma coops that we got are incredible. It's very easy for them to move. And so they handle all of that farming part of the day. And then we come in and we do some morning lessons. Usually we try to get the language arts and the math out of the way. And then we kind of see where the day takes us and where it leads. There are a lot of times where we take walks, and we spend a lot of time just walking the farm, meeting people, seeing what's happening, helping whoever needs help, and lunch, do a little quiet time. Again, we just really try to make it more of a family homeschool environment, even though we're not homeschooling, where the kids feel at home. So we eat. You guys will see the kitchen if you guys come with us in a minute for the tour. We eat family style every day, and so we have that. And then the kids take care of cleaning up the schoolhouse before they leave for the day, which is actually their favorite part. They won't go home and clean, but they love to clean at the schoolhouse. I think it's just fun and exciting, and we play music, and I don't know, so they're great at that. So let's see, a lot of questions that I get. The most popular one that I get is, how do I teach all the kids at different levels, at different ages, at the same time? And so one of the things that I try to always remember is that a lot of you here probably grew up that way. Learning alongside your brother or your sister or your neighbor that was a different age or a different grade. And one of the sweetest things, especially this year, is we have been able to watch the older children come in and help teach the younger children. We are seeing it. This year especially, we are seeing it. And that is our goal, right? We're there, Dalton, Miss Ashley, and I are there to facilitate, to keep them safe, to guide them, but they are learning and they are teaching each other every day. And so we do unit studies as a group. We do some science unit studies. The older kids may get something different out of it than the younger children, but they're all getting something out of it. And then we'll do individual levels with the math and the reading. Another question I get is, how am I able to teach kids to read when I don't have a degree? That's always my favorite. So all of the kids are readers except for 2 right now, so we're doing good. We're not ruining them. But our goal is to take education per child. So one of the things that, if you've ever read the book Dumbing Us Down, if you have not, read it. John Taylor Gatto, Dumbing Us Down. He is a teacher out of New York, world-renowned teacher that has quickly realized that maybe the education system isn't what it should be. And we do not believe in putting kids in a box. Just because you're 6 years old doesn't mean you should be in kindergarten learning how to read. And so we really try to base our education on the individual child's needs, desires, brain space, just whatever it is. I have an 11-year-old. He just does not want to read. He just doesn't right now. And I have a 6-year-old that's reading like that. So we really try to give the children space to be who they are, to learn as they need to learn and want to learn. And we're there to guide and love them through that. So that really is our goal. What else? I'm trying to think of anything else that I want to tell you guys. We are going to open it up to a question and answer for you guys. I think that's all. I think that's basically the practical side of our school and what we do. Does anyone have any questions about our day-to-day or schooling or how we started, anything at all? Yes, ma'am.
Do you have to take any state assessment at all? Do the kids have to take any state assessment?
Good question. So she asked, do the kids have to take any state assessments at all? So we are not required to take anything like TCAP, but we are once a year, starting in 2nd grade, we do an assessment. And that is basically, that just goes to me and the parents. And that is just to make sure that we're kind of keeping in line, making sure Tanis wants to make sure that I'm still a school. And, but yeah, we do that. And it's I wouldn't say it's required, but it's suggested. And so we do that. Yeah. And the funny thing is the kids, the kids really love it because this year they finally got to bubble in the bubble sheets, which I didn't even think were a thing still. And they don't take, we don't do tests. And so they think it's just like this fun day of I get to bubble in bubble sheets for my answers. And they have no concept that it's really what it is. So it's very exciting. Yes. No electronics. Thank you. We have a TV that we hide, and it comes out when we need it, mostly art lessons because I am not an artist. But no, we do not do any electronics. We do eventually, I think, as they get older, I want them to know how to type and be able to maneuver the computer, even though we're not big computer people. The world is. So eventually, I think as they get older, that'll be part of something that they learn, but we don't use it as a tool. We have dictionaries, books, and things like that. So yeah, no electronics. Yeah, so we do. I mean, in our Good and the Beautiful books, there's a little bit of like a review after each section. As far as right now at the age they're at, so I have kindergartners through 5th. At the age they're at right now, their progress is pretty clear. I'm able to see it, and I'm able to see whether we're doing work or we're outside. So right now, that's not super important. I think as they get into the older years in high school, when we have to start looking at transcripts and stuff, we'll start keeping things like that. But right now, it's literally just what we see and what we know that they need to work on or they want to work on is what we go for. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. We have 2 families. You can come up here, Dalton. We have, actually, I think we have 3 sibling groups this year. So there's 2 sisters, actually 2 groups of 2 sisters, and then Hudson and Paisley, who are here somewhere. So we have, but everyone else is just from community. Yeah, I mean, ideally, it would be filled with siblings and all the things. And that brings up the next thing is we're not a school that just constantly has openings, which is really tough. We, if someone moves, we have an opening. But other than that, it kind of stays where it's at, which is why those of you who have come up to us, so sweet, we did the live during COVID, and we did not close. So we were able to do the live, which is how a lot of you found us and were able to watch. But our desire is that even though people can't come into the school, that they're able to learn through our online presence, which would be great. Yes? Yeah, she asked how we decide who comes. So when we have openings, there is application process online, and then we meet with the families. So our process is more about the family than the child themselves. We want the families to be like-minded, have the same values. We are outdoors a lot. Some people think they want that for the child, and then it gets hot, and they're like, take them inside. And so we want to make sure that that we all are on the same page. So we'll meet with the families, do a lot of praying, do a lot of talking, and go with our guts on that. Yes, sir. Music class? We had music a couple years ago. Yeah, and we'll see. We because we are a one-room schoolhouse, we cannot be all things to all men. And so one year we got to have this amazing conservatory come in and do lots of musical classes. And so hopefully we'll have something. Turn it on. Up.
Is this? Yeah. Some of the kids do, like Magnolia goes to conservatory still, so some of the kids are on flexible schedules. So like one Friday, one of our kids still goes to the same music lessons because they got to see part of that, and they're like, we want to continue that. So not all the kids are completely full-time. We prefer that, but that also leaves areas where they can go explore other schools. There's some other schools that we're friends with that, like Claire, that some of the kids come from. So it's really flexible to, again, just meet their needs as they come up.
And they're in the process of building a wood shop area in the back. So as the kids get older, they'll start their apprenticeships where they can go out and do different things and kind of figure out, do we want to go to college? Do we want to work, do a trade? So they're in the middle of building that as the kids are starting to get older for that as well. Yeah. Yes? Oh, we do a lot of cooking. We do a lot of baking. Our kitchen, you'll see it. It's fully stocked. It's nicer than my kitchen at home. And it was donated, and it's beautiful. And so we have Chef Patty who comes, and she is great she starts teaching from where the food comes to when you start eating it. And so we do have that. And then sometimes we'll just go out and grab some eggs and some meat from our freezer and cook it. And sometimes we'll bake. We're a sugar-free school, so every once in a while we'll bake a cake together. It kind of becomes part of their math and all the things. Yes, we do a lot of cooking and baking. Yeah, absolutely. We have that beautiful kitchen. We use it a lot. Yeah. Anyone else? Rachel. Sign language. Yes. So Indiana, who is not here this weekend, she teaches the kids the sign language that she knows. And then sometimes we bring people in to teach sign language. We watch signing times a lot. That is something that we bring the TV up for. So yes, sign language is part of our thing. Good question. Anyone else? Yes. Like a what? Oh, not as stringent. I tried a Becca, and it was a lot. So the good and the beautiful, it is advanced as far as it does try to keep up with if a child goes and leaves and goes to a public school, they're not behind. We do try to keep that in mind. But they can complete a lesson, and it's not an all-day process. We can do our schoolwork in a couple hours and be done. So the rest of the 5 hours are just for outdoor learning and stuff. It's one book for language arts, one book for math, and there is some online lessons that we just don't do right now. But it's beautiful. The kids love it. It catches their eye. And after each lesson, there's usually just a little something like a puzzle or something that they get to do that makes them feel like they've accomplished. So I don't know much about Abeka other than I got a lot of boxes and there was a lot of books and it felt overwhelming for me. So I pushed it away and went somewhere else. I didn't even try it with the kids. If it's overwhelming for the person teaching, it's going to be overwhelming for the children. And so Good and the Beautiful has just worked for us for the last few years. So we'll continue to use it until it doesn't, really. And thankfully, all the kids right now are on the same one. If it ever comes to be where a child is not thriving off of it, we will change that and give them something different. But right now, they all love it. They have great handwriting. They're learning cursive right now, which is a big thing. And so, yeah, it's good. Yeah. Oh, yes. So we are still in school. The rest of the Tennessee is out. So we begin around Labor Day. And we get out, we have 2 more weeks. So we get out around June 16th, 18th every year. We did that. That's how I grew up. I had all of July and August off going to school. And it's really hot. Y'all think today is hot. July and August are just super hot on the farm. And so we felt like we don't even want to be outside, and we have to be outside those months. So it just made sense for us to have a full, real July, August, summer, half of June, and then go back Labor Day. So that's our school year. Yeah. So we start a whole month later than most schools around here and get out a whole month later than most. No complaints, though. The kids, they're fine. Yeah. Any other questions before we walk over to school? Yes. Yes, Monday through Friday, 8 to 3. Yeah, it's a full schedule. Yeah, and we are required to send off, the names of the children that are here, so it gets reported that they are in school. I'm required to turn in a calendar that we create ourselves and let them know when we're in school, when we're on break, and yeah, so it's a full days. They go by fast, though, with all the things that we got going on. Yes?
I mean, really, it's just us. Like, Rory will pop in and do lessons. He'll do reading lessons or stuff when he has time. Chef Patty is here on Wednesdays, so when we had music, it'd be Tuesdays were music days. Wednesdays, Chef Patty would show up. Thursdays, they have therapy classes where some of them are learning. I don't know what happens in therapy classes. Speech therapies. So on any given day, it'll kind of be one person comes in and does a little bit of extra stuff. But for the majority of the time, it's me, it's Rebecca. We have one other part-time teacher who she helps a whole lot when setting up this week. Like, she was available. She's good with the kids, and we were able to go do our chores for this. Or if there's a cow running out in the field, we're like, Ashley, can you watch them? We have to go do stuff, or we'll have the kids come help us. But yeah, it's basically just us most of the time.
Oh, yes, we all eat together. Yeah, we eat together. You all laugh about the running cow, but we've had that happen.
We're worried that it's going to happen this year. When the music started playing last year, we had a baby cow that just took off through the woods. So Sunday morning, we spent 4 hours just running through the woods, finding a baby cow and getting the mom. It was a whole thing. So the cows are way back that way, so I'm hoping it'll be fine this year.
Yeah. Yes. Tuition. Yes. So we are nonprofit. So all the buildings you see, someone has come alongside us and donated funds to build these buildings. And to keep the school running, there is a tuition that the parents pay. And this year it's $750, and that keeps us there. So yeah.
It's kind of like the bare minimum,
Yeah, it barely
really.
keep-
We try to not. It's just what we have to do, kind of.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. Yes, a month. Yeah. 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 So she asked if we have any other enrichment programs, since we do keep it where there's not many openings. And right now we don't. It's more of a matter of it's just us. So I run the school, and he runs the farm, and we run the festival, and there's a lot of things happening. So we just right now don't have the manpower to do something like that. But we are allowed to do it under TANF, so stay tuned. Yep. It could be a thing. We would love to bring more and more people in. It's just right now we don't have the manpower for it. Yeah. Yes. No, ma'am. I mean, people can donate online. Actually, some of our kids are going to be selling our eggs and our meat. And one little girl named Poppy made some sourdough bread. So they're going to be over there in front of the garden. But no, ma'am. It's people that just come along and believe in what we're doing and our mission and donate towards it. Yeah. Yeah. You guys ready to go see this school? Alrighty, so I will let you know that we'll go and we'll hang out for a little bit. Lunch is after us, and we will keep the schoolhouse open for people to walk through. It's not a place to hang out, and we want to respect the kids' space and their stuff. But I asked them if it was okay if we left the doors open for everyone to kind of walk through the rest of the time. The playground is locked. We don't have enough space in there for all of our kiddos, and we have an amazing kids area over here. So if you want to take your time going through, the schoolhouse will remain open the rest of the day, but we'll head over there now and answer any more questions and show you guys around.
Yeah. And then our barnyard is open too, so if y'all want, so that we can kind of break up the crowd, feel free to walk through the barnyard. You can see some of our animals, and the kids should be just on the other side of the barnyard. So you can meet some of the kids, see their gardens, and then we'll be in the school, and we'll just hang out for as long as people keep showing up.
Alrighty, thank y'all.